quite high because my daughter came into my life and stuff. And this week I'm feeling quite grounded and I'm feeling quite relaxed, I think's the word. And I choose Aya, obviously. Quite high because my daughter came into my life and stuff.
Hello?
Hello?
Hi.
Alia, do you want to check in?
Yeah, I'm checking in. I feel quite positive. I've had a lot of appointments and things like that. I've been with Parkside Mental Health Primary Care for 4 years, and today at 4 o'clock, I've got a discharge meeting because my mental health has been stable for a long time. So
Oh,
I'm happy about that.
brilliant.
I am 75 days clean and sober as well, so I feel really good.
That's fantastic. I'm checking in with yeah, I'm glad to see you both. I felt quite unsettled um the past three meetings being in SA or traveling. Yeah, so I'm pleased to be back here. Um yeah, and I'm wondering where everyone else is, and I'm taking that a bit personally, but it is what it is.
I do
And
know, sorry, just to let you know on that. So I know Andy Shaw and Eve Lashbrook, they were both supposed to, I've been in the office with them not long ago. They were both supposed to join. However, Poppy is interviewing and she's in our office and she's got the headset, so they're unable to, and they were quite gutted about it.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, they were like, oh, we can't go in the office because she's got the headset in there and they don't have a desk, they have a desktop, so they need one in order to join. So them two will be coming hopefully either late or next week.
No problem, no problem. Okay. And just to remind you both, you've done the 3-day intensive.
Hmm.
Yeah. And that's for the recovery coaching certification side of things.
Yeah.
And you're doing the systemic wellness practitioner side of things, which is to integrate what you've learned in coaching into your role in your organization. And the requirement is to attend here for 10 classes to achieve 20 hours of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And as a result of these 20 classroom hours and the 20 classroom hours you've had in the 3-day intensive, that would make up your 40 hours of learning. And because you both work in lived experienced organizations, you would already have completed the coaching hours because you have so many clients or service users or people or customers or whatever, humans, whatever term your organization uses. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I know Recovery Connections use people. Yeah. And
Yeah.
what do you use, Charlie?
But we use people as well. Is that what
Okay,
you
great.
mean? Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right. So where should we take today's class? And I always ask the question because the agenda always comes from the client. So we create the container, let's sit down, have a container, and then to kind of see what comes up. And I think last time we spoke was about boundaries. It was about anger and boundaries and the complexities of working. Yep. And before that it was suicide and death. Yep. And before that it was death as well. So those have been the three themes that we've had since this kicked off.
Um, I've found so a lot of people that I'm working with at the moment, they're struggling with life's terms, being sober.
Mhm.
So I'd like to, if we could, if obviously Charlie or David, you haven't got anything else to bring in the container, I'd like to discuss that because I don't really know a lot about it, like how to help.
Fantastic topic. Thank you so much. Okay, so let's start off with the term life on life's terms. So Life on Life's Terms is a slogan that comes out of the fellowships. So it comes out of a kind of a peer mentor organization. It's one of those slogans that get bandied around, yeah, that people use to talk about. Yeah. So I'm struggling with life on life's terms. Yeah.
Yeah.
So then that takes us further. How are you as a coach? How do you deal with someone when they come to you and say, I'm struggling with life on life's terms? Yeah.
Mhm.
So first of all, they're coming to you with a struggle. So when someone is struggling and says to you, listen, I'm struggling, what does it invoke in you? What does it stir up in you?
I try and tell them about my previous experiences and how I changed, which was like getting a new job, changing environment, new circle of friends, finding out like new hobbies and things like that. But the people that I actually work with are so depressed to the point it's even hard for them to make a phone call or to open a letter or to do anything to change their life.
Mm, okay. So there's that term frapping, yes? So one of the hard things as a coach is when someone comes is to not to frap. So frapping stands for fix, rescue, advise, and project. And as soon as someone comes to me and says, I need help, straight away there's a part of me that wants to jump in and fix, yeah,
Mhm.
or to give my story advice, yeah, or kind of like, oh, don't worry about it, I'll do something. So I'm a big frapper, and I had to unlearn that stuff. And the reason I was a big frapper is it made me feel good about myself once I fixed somebody and rescued them. I
Yeah.
had like the white knight syndrome. Don't worry about me, fucking, I'm coming in on my horse. Like,
Yeah.
here I am, you fucking, yeah. And and that was a real hard thing to unlearn. Yeah. So for me, when people come and say, oh fuck, I'm struggling, it was hard for me to say, well, what are you going to do about it? Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's, and this is a coach in specifically in the coaching role. I'm not talking about any other roles. I'm just like when we're engaged coaching. So the hard part is to stay grounded, whether our clients do well, they're doing well, or whether they're doing badly. That has got nothing to do with us. Yeah.
Mhm.
When they come and they say, I'm struggling on life's terms or something, there's a hook there to try and get us to go in there to try and do something. Yeah. So it's fantastic that you're struggling.
Yeah.
That's the first thing to do. Fuck, I'm struggling with this. I really want to help you. I mean, I get it all the time with my kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dad, I need some money for this or that. Da, da, da. It's hard for me, especially when my self-worth is often dependent on affirmation from other people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So what are the struggles? I'm depressed. I can't get out of bed. I can't be, yeah.
And so I have a specific community member that I've been working with today,
Yeah.
and she's on a daily script of methadone. She
Right.
wants to come off it. However, like CGL are telling her that like she can't do the rattle. She wants to stop the drug, she wants to stop things, but she feels it's physically impossible to do so. So yeah.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, so now we're talking about case management. So let's just go into case management here. Yeah. So what is your role?
Lived experience support specialist.
A lived experience support specialist. Okay. And you would have knowledge of the recovery capital available in your area for somebody that comes along and says, listen here, I want to get off the methadone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. And the client that you're presenting is a female. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. What age? So without names or anything, just what age?
34.
So 34-year-old female, mother.
Yeah, but she hasn't seen a child for about 6 years because her mum won't let her. It's not actually court ordered or anything like that. Her mum just won't let her.
Okay, cool. So she's a mother that doesn't have access to her child. Yeah.
But I've
And
actually got an appointment with Citizens Advice about that.
okay, great. Okay, so now you're kind of thinking, okay, so what resources are available? They're out of your skill set, but you know somebody who's got the skills.
Yeah.
Yep. So great. So they're getting some legal advice.
Hmm.
Yep. All right. And do you know how much methadone this lady is on?
She's on 60 milligram.
60.
Yeah.
Okay, so is that 60 mils?
Yeah.
Okay, and that's daily, yes, obviously.
Yeah.
Okay, and what does what does her doctor say in terms of tapering off?
So what I've had to do today, she has a support worker that works for CGL in her care. She's been off for about 3 weeks, but I've emailed her and I've spoke to a GP, and we're going to do an MDT meeting when her support worker from CGL, actually a drug and alcohol support worker, actually returns to work, so that we can all discuss her care and come up with a plan moving forward.
Okay, so you're on the money as well. So it's you've got a multidisciplinary team together, yeah. So you've got
Hmm.
the doctor for the medical stuff, for the biology of this.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's psychology that's going to impact this person as they come off. Yeah,
Hmm.
they're going to be tapered off. Yeah, and then there's legal advice as well.
Yeah.
Okay, how are you feeling now?
I feel happy. So we done a recap with her today, and it's like how how our support has basically helped her, and she's a lot more, shall I say, optimistic about the future. She had no goals or anything before, and today after speaking, we're like she's saying she wants to get in a volunteering. So I was telling her about the ambassadors and volunteering and things like that. So it was very nice to see, like she was left with a smile on her face, but she struggles. Another issue, she overdoses quite a lot, but not intentionally. It's off them Zopiclone, and they've got, is it nitrazine? I can't say it properly. They have,
Not,
yeah,
yeah.
they have them in them. So this is why. So she used to have a weekly script, and now it's gone to daily because of this overdose that was unintentional. So yeah, she hasn't brought street drugs for a while now due to that. And she used to use crack cocaine every day, and now she only does it about 3 times a month. So she's reducing her drug intake, which is really good. And she's also living in supported accommodation. However, with our help, we've got her a house. Again, it's supported accommodation, but it's a flat on her own where she'll have a weekly call. So then me and my colleague are going to go and see her daily on a morning, pick her up and take her for a script, because it's like quite far, not far away, but for a walk, it's a bit of a walk, and she has fibromyalgia, so she has quite a bit of pain. So things are improving, and I feel good that we can help her. Like she said today, she said if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be here, and I felt so
Right.
like relieved.
Okay. So the question was, how do you feel? And you got to the place of, yep, I feel good, yep, and relieved.
Yeah.
So that's great. That's folks. Charlie, would you add anything to this?
No, I think it's just been nice actually listening. Um, because I'm very new to recovery from alcohol. It's actually been nice how this process works, because I don't know how this process with them works. So it's been nice actually listening to Vinaya.
Oh, thank you.
So yeah, so personally, I can't think of anything additional to add. The
No, I can't. This is what I was thinking. Am I doing enough? And I think at the minute I am. I think I am.
well, if anything, the question would be, are you doing too much?
I only started in June and I only have 3 members on my caseload, so I'm able to do that. I don't feel like I am doing too, but she doesn't have no other support but us. She has
No,
no family. Yeah.
I mean, I think you're doing a fantastic job. I think she's very lucky to have you. You're very enthusiastic, engaged, caring. Yeah,
Oh, thank you.
I really like the way you've presented this client. This this counterfeit medication with nitrazines in is going to be a big problem. It's only going to get worse. We're only going to get more and more deaths because of it. So it's a real challenge that we need to prepare ourselves for.
Yeah.
And I'm glad she's getting proper prescribed Zopiclone as well now. Is that correct?
Yeah.
All right. So she's on a lot of meds though, huh?
Yeah, she is.
Methadone and sleeping tablets. That's
She's not actually prescribed. So what happened, she's not prescribed Zopiclone. She bought them off somebody who lives in a supported accommodation because she couldn't sleep due to a fibromyalgia and she was in a lot of pain. So what I'd done, her doctor's not quite nice, and she needed support going to the appointment. So I went to the appointment, I spoke on her behalf, like as an advocate.
right. So you advocated for your client, yeah? Good.
Yeah, and we got her some gabapentin
Yeah.
and for her pain, and she's sleeping better. She feels like things are better, so she doesn't actually take Zopiclone. It was just as a one-off, but then she actually overdosed on it, so we had to naloxone her, which was obviously a worry. I didn't myself, but staff did from her supported accommodation.
Yeah, it's a proper fuck up, huh?
I know.
Okay,
I know.
excuse me laughing, but it's anxiety. It's like
No, no.
because I mean methadone is already going to suppress the breathing, and it's a downer.
Yeah.
And then put sleeping tablets on top of that. I'm not surprised she fucking tilted.
I know.
It's
I
like,
know.
and then reducing opiates, can be very depressing because they're depressants.
Yeah.
And it takes a long time for the mood to lift with opiates withdrawal. So fuck, the fact that you're instilling hope and that you're being there. And is she in safe accommodation?
I'd
Or is
say
she
it's
just flat
safe,
by herself?
but I'd say it's safe. However, there's a lot of people on crack cocaine there, and like people, like, because she's vulnerable. People like she's come in today and she was like, "Oh, someone just come in my room and said, oh, do you want a pipe?" And I said no. She said, but normally I would have took it. So now she's obviously moving out of that environment where she's going to be in a house on her own. I think it'll be really beneficial for her well-being.
Mm.
Okay. And then the risk is that she could take methadone and top up with sleeping tablets and then overdose without anyone there to be able to administer.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. So that's why for the next I think it's a month, we've got a daily visits with her early on in the morning.
Okay. So what's the process in terms of risk assessment and paperwork and for you?
This is the thing, and nothing at the moment, which sounds bad. we've done the recap and she's scoring high, which is good. It's like she's improving overall. But this is why I just need to work with basically her drug and alcohol support worker from CGL and a GP. I need to liaise with them, but it's getting so I've spoke with a GP. It's her drug and alcohol support worker. She's on holiday till the 6th, till tomorrow she returns. So hopefully I'll have a plan put in place then. She doesn't actually move into a property until the 9th.
All right. And who do you work for?
Recovery Connections in Stockton.
Okay. So your Recovery Connections crew, and you're contracted to CGL.
No. So there's a part of Recovery Connections building in CGL, but I don't work with them. I just liaise with the people that obviously, if they're in my care and they're in CGLs, we liaise with each other.
Okay.
But no, I don't actually work with them.
Okay, so this is going to sound quite crass, but how do you cover your own arse in this?
Write notes. We have charity log, so
Okay.
we write notes every date of appointments, what's been said, dates and times of things, missed appointments, what work we've done, what we've offered, things like that.
So there's a paper trail.
Oh yeah, and email.
Fantastic.
Email and charity log.
And are you filling out your paperwork?
Yeah, constantly.
Fantastic. Okay.
Yeah.
So Charlie, have you got anything else to add to this now?
No, I think it's been eye-opening actually. I have a sister who's in the madness of crack cocaine at the moment. So I'm just sitting here going, did you realise this is how it's all done? She's in the madness of crack cocaine over in Thornaby, which isn't far from Stockton.
Yeah.
And my brother was on the methadone program and crack cocaine and Zopicons and all this, and he's still in the madness as well. And I don't know how all this works because I was just an alcoholic and a cokehead, so I don't know how all these street stuff work. So it's been lovely just to sit here and go, really, is this? You know, it's been nice to kind of put what I was saying to my brother and sister. That's what I've been sitting here and doing. And also, I wanted to congratulate Aya because did you say that your 75 days been clean today?
Yeah, 76.
76 days clean today, and look what you're doing. That's what I was basically sitting here going, I'm sure she says you're 75 days clean. That's mental.
Oh,
like that work that you are doing, like the paper trail, the doctors, and and supporting her and all this stuff. And I was like, when I was 75 days clean, I was still looking over my head. I was still like, oh. So
Yeah,
I think it's fantastic actually. I know my first few months of trying to get clean and sober, I could hardly leave the house. Never mind support anyone else at 75 days. So I really just wanted to say my well done actually. It's fantastic.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
It's impressive, hey, Charlie?
Yeah, it's massively impressive, massively.
Okay. And it's also because of the organization, the support that she finds herself in as well. Yeah. And Charlie, don't underestimate the problems of alcohol.
No.
Alcohol withdrawal.
Yeah.
Because alcohol withdrawal and benzodiazepine withdrawal, which are the kind of legal drugs, are way more dangerous.
Definitely,
yeah. Oh,
yeah. So people coming off methadone or heroin or an opiate will not die from the withdrawal. Yeah. But whereas somebody that's coming off alcohol or benzos can risk going into seizures and dying. So there's a real kind of cultural ignorance around the dangers of legal drugs.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't know that actually. I thought that what I was talking about was at a different level from where I was. You
No,
know.
no.
Yes, it is a different level. It's at a safer level.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. But
But
what is high risk in this case is the mixing of counterfeit benzos that aren't being prescribed through the medical route. So it's the
mhm,
black market counterfeit prescription drugs.
yeah, I just remember my first 3 months was horrendous. I'm coming off alcohol. It's like I've always had a stammer. I've always had a stutter. Since the day I've been able to talk. And the first few months, but I've always had a level that I could talk and converse with people. But the first few months that I was coming off alcohol and cocaine, I could not string a sentence. I could not look at anyone in the eye. I was terrified to leave the house. The only place I would go to was meetings because that was the only thing that was keeping me sick. That was the only thing that was keeping me sober. And I remember the first few months, Mike, it was on my shoulder, and it was terrifying. Every day was terrifying. Um, and it and when I was talking there, it was kind of taking me back to those first few months, and how scared I was actually because I didn't know what this. I'm a great you believer that if you don't know, you don't know, and I think to my fortune, because I didn't really know what am I coming off. Am I drinking alcohol? My look like because I never came off it. Every day was just me bringing this roller coaster of emotions and struggles, and I was like, and I think they say in the rooms of Alcoholics Anonymous that the good thing is you get your emotions back, and the bad thing is you get your emotions back. And for the first few months, I could identify with that because I would be up and I would be crashing all the way down every day. Would bring me in, and this is no word of a lie. My two dogs, I've got a Labrador and a Westie, they were terrified of me. And you could tell because if they would look at me in the morning and they wouldn't know what mood I was in. And because I would know what mood I was in. And I can remember after 3 months, I can remember this like it was yesterday. I was walking down the stairs and I felt this wave of like the anger and it was really anger and this unease and this I can't even describe it. But I'd almost walked through it, and when I was coming down the stairs of my house, I felt my shoulders relaxing for about the first time in a few months. I actually felt that, and I was like, "What is that I've just felt?" And that's when I knew that my recovery was starting to work. It was like a few months. I just felt my shoulders, and I could breathe a wee bit easier, and I could speak a wee bit more. I could string a couple of sentences, and I just knew I was like, I'm going to be safe here. And that was the first feeling I'd felt safe in about 3 months from coming off alcohol and cocaine.
Oh, you've done so well, Charlie. Well done.
And thanks, Sam.
How are you feeling now, Charlie?
I'm feeling good, thanks. I'm feeling really good. Feeling really good.
Yeah, the more and more I talk to you, the more I fall in love with you. You're such a nice guy.
Thanks, David.
know.
Thanks, David.
Yeah, such a nice energy. Okay, so what are you both learning from this container?
Well, the main thing I've learned, I already did know that alcohol was very dangerous to come off. However, I know every drug and every addiction, so addicts, we all have the same behaviors and feel the same things, but I didn't know the level of how like dangerous alcohol was, if you know what I mean, and how hard physically it is to come off and life threatening. So yeah, very proud of you, Charlie. Well done.
Thanks, Aya. I've learned about the drugs and alcohol and how you can not come off alcohol, you can come off on drugs. I've also learned at 75 days how well that you can actually do with the proper support around you, like recovery connections, and how you can help people with your lived experience quite early on, like in my 75 and 76 days. It's quite inspiring, actually. Because I didn't think that so early on that you can help people to the level that I is helping others so early on. And I think that's, I think it shows a lot of, encouragement in that lived experience, how that my lived experience can help others in such an early sobriety or whatever. You get me with the right support around you.
Thank you, Charlie. I do I'm a part of the 12-step program as well. I go to CA, so my main drug of choice was cannabis. I smoked it from like being really young. However, it did escalate to different things. I started obviously taking cocaine and whatever. But before this job, I've actually done my nursing degree, mental health nursing. So I do know quite a lot, but that's only because of my experience. So don't feel that I've just come in and, because we're all at the same level, we're all capable of learning the same things and stuff like that. Well, thank you so much. Made my day.
How long did your mental health nursing training last?
So I started 1909, September 2019, and finished in 2022.
So what was it, 3 years?
3 years, yeah. But then I ended up being sectioned myself. I was on a section 2, and then I was section. Sorry.
What does section 2 mean?
So it means I was inpatient in a psychiatric ward for it's up to 28 days. I actually appealed against my section after being in there I got a mental health advocate, and I appealed against my section because I believed I was wrongly sectioned. But this was just my delusional thoughts. So yeah, I ended up being in there for like 6 weeks, and then I nearly went to a section 3, which is up to 6 months. Luckily, I had my dad. My dad took me out and he moved me to France. So I went to France for a while to sort my mental health out because it was my environment. It was the things with my ex partner made me crazy, literally. It wasn't his fault, it was obviously my own, but yeah. And then I tried to go back to work on the wards, and it just was too much trauma for me. It brought everything back up for me, and I thought mental health is just it's not for me because I have it.
I so appreciate you telling us this.
Mm-hmm.
And it really sparks my curiosity. Are you okay to go a little bit deeper with this?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
And I just want you to know now, this is my agenda. This is my curiosity.
Yeah.
So when we're working with clients, we must also be aware of like, oh, I'm really curious about that. Let's go here. But that might be like, fuck off. I don't want to talk about that sort of stuff.
Oh, yeah. No, I love talking about it, to be honest.
Oh, do you like talking about it? Great. Okay.
Yeah, because I just never thought, like, honestly, if you knew me say from 2021 till 2022, I mean, I was crazy. I even had like a phantom pregnancy. I believed I was pregnant for about 3 months. I went to a scan and everything. I never used to understand myself. I never thought I had mental health. I used to just think it was shit because what my ex was doing to me. I was in like an 8-year domestic abusive relationship, and I used to just have a joint. I used to smoke weed like there was no tomorrow, and it used to just block my emotions out. And then anyway, when we split up, so everything that I thought was true. So basically, my ex-partner, he was being sexually abused by his mum. And I thought it was true, but I thought I was just crazy. I thought, no, this is not real. Anyway, all come to all, it was true. And I wasn't crazy after all, but that sent me crazy. So then I started taking drugs. Oh, it was mad. I used to run around like I didn't realize at the time, I couldn't remember because I'd blacked out and things like that. But I'd be asleep and I'd wake up and I relived my miscarriage and things like that. So I'd run around the house. I was naked and I was literally crazy. I'm honest, I can't even describe it. And I never ever thought in my life I'd be here with no medication.
I'm so humbled by this story. There's it went off where I'm in this block of flats where I live here in London last night. A mother and a daughter just it went fucking off, screaming and shouting and smashing stuff and fucking then the police arrived and then another car and it's that real kind of mental health stuff that just fucking goes crazy sometimes, huh? And this wasn't even kind of drug induced. Yeah. So how are you doing now?
I'm really good. I've never been so happy in my life. Like I say, Parkside are discharging me. I've not been on mental health medication since November last year. I do actually, I'm lying. I do take my propanolol for my anxiety because I don't actually feel anxious. But if I don't take my propanolol in the morning, my palms sweat, my feet soaking. I have a rash on my chest. I get like blurred vision. It's just I have heart palpitations, but I generally don't feel anxious. But I've started to do a lot of like grounding and the bucket technique and things like that. So I actually use my tools to help myself.
So you've got a whole lot of tools. What's the medication you take?
Propanolol. Propanolol, yeah.
And what is that?
So it's a medication that basically it's for anxiety. So it slows the physical effects of anxiety down. So my heart doesn't race so fast. I don't get the sweaty palms. I don't get the sweaty feet. It's like a beta blocker.
Oh, it's a beta blocker. Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Okay. So Charlie, what I'm doing is I'm asking coaching questions to understand if the client knows what they're taking. And you can see Alia's got a very good insight to her diagnosis, her medication, and that sort of stuff. So, like, often clients don't even know that sort of stuff. Oh, I've got to take this pill, and this pill. Well, why? I don't know. The doctor gave it to me. And we're trying to get agency for our individuals to take responsibility for their own recovery. Would you agree with me, Alia?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Wonderful. Okay. That phantom pregnancy stuff is out there, huh?
See, do you know, I used to think, right, it was only in animals that got it. Honestly, did you know the midwife? You know the midwife when I went to my scan? She even, I was in France at the time, so I couldn't get a scan. I was there for a while. And I used to, honest, I look back now, I used to FaceTime my family and my friends. Because I physically, I'd have to show you a photo, I'd have to get one up. I generally looked pregnant. I looked about 6 months pregnant. I had all the symptoms. I even had a pregnancy test that said I was pregnant. It was crazy. And basically, what they've put it down, when I went for my scan, she was like, the midwife laughed, not in a way laughing at me. She said, never in my 16 years of being a midwife have I experienced this. She said, I couldn't believe it. So what they've done is they took a blood test to see if I had pregnancy hormones, and I didn't. Had no pregnancy hormones. So this test must have just been, I don't know, faulty or whatever. But yeah, I posted it all over social media. I had my dad ordering me frigging baby clothes. Hey, we laugh about it now because it's funny, but at the time, I swear, I was devastated. I was.
It must have been terrible at the time.
It was mad. I'm gonna have to get a photo and show you. I'm honest.
Because my laughter at this is actually my anxiety.
Oh no, don't worry, we laugh. Oh, don't worry.
I'm thinking, fucking hell, how do you do that? But we've had a few clients come to the clinic with phantom pregnancies, and
This was me. I'm
I
going to put the
really
video.
appreciate you talking about this.
This was it. Wait, is my video on? Oh, where's my camera?
I've never heard of it.
So wait, oh, you can't really. Oh, you can't see, can't wait.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
You can see. Yeah, you can see. Yeah, you do look pregnant, actually.
I'm just rolling my joint. Not good, but yeah, like it was so.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, this is crazy. They couldn't believe it. It was mad. Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing this.
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
in you sharing your story, you're educating both me and Charlie.
Yeah.
And this is a great way of when your story can add so much value to someone else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad it can benefit you in some way, a bit of knowledge and things.
Mm. And looking back, what would have been helpful for you at the time? What could the system have done better?
So my dad's my carer, and this is what I don't agree with. So my dad was in contact with carers for carers, and they told him that he has to go along with it. Not to say it wasn't true or things like that, which I wouldn't have put if he'd have sat down and said to me, Leah, it's all in your head, you're not pregnant, da 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 da. I wouldn't have posted it all over and probably believed it. However, I don't know how I would have reacted in that time because I had, like I said, I had a positive test. I had all the symptoms like sore breasts and things like that and whatever. But I think the system are wrong when they tell people. So I have been diagnosed with mixed personality and bipolar, depression, anxiety, PTSD. And the carers for carers told my dad that he had to go along with me and tell me and believe me what I was saying. And I wish that wasn't the case. Because I sort of had to, it sort of embarrassed me. Like I look back now and I can laugh about it, but I used to literally do live videos on Instagram showing people my stomach and and I think, what the fuck? As if I'd done that. But people now, like the full world, just think that I had a miscarriage. I really did have a miscarriage in 2019. But yeah, no, not a lot of many people know that it was a phantom pregnancy because people are too judgmental and think you're just crazy, even though I was. But I don't tell people that side of my story unless I feel obviously comfortable to tell them. But yeah, I think it's wrong that they said to my dad, like, you need to just go along with her and make her believe it and whatever. Even let me go to the scan. I don't think that was because it was quite embarrassing and traumatic for me.
I have such empathy and compassion, huh? And you know, a lot of these stories about or advice on what you should do and what you shouldn't do came up with the wisdom of the past.
Yeah.
But that doesn't, but those stories, that advice isn't the same now in the world that we live in. So when they came up with that stuff, there was no ways that you'd be fucking Instagramming live
I know.
your symptoms and everything. So it would have been much easier to kind of go along with the story. They'll come to terms with it when the world was very different then.
Yeah.
So
And even ever since then, I still to this day won't use Instagram. I've never been on Instagram again. I don't have Snapchat. The only thing I do is TikTok. And I promote my 12-step program for addiction. I don't do it like in any other way. I just yeah. But I'm still that traumatized from it. I won't go on it.
hello,
Hi.
Lisa.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, Lisa.
Welcome.
Well,
Are
this is
you
an
taking-
intimate group, very intimate group today.
Very intimate. Alia, is it okay if I catch Lisa up?
Of course, yeah, of course.
Okay. So how are you checking in, Lisa?
I'm checking in okay. Quite end to my week. Work's quite quiet today. Just been sorting a few bits out for my upcoming trip.
Okay. Great. All right. So we started off by kind of placing where the coaching training is. So this is a systemic wellness practitioner for people that have done the 3 days or people that are going to do the 3-day intensive. Yeah,
Yep.
but we've covered the past 4 classes. Yep. So it started with Charlie built the container. Yep. And then you're always waiting to see what emerges in the container and then to go with it. So the first 2 were about grief and loss and that stuff. The previous one was about boundaries. And then today we started off with what do you do when a client comes and they just can't get motivated, they're feeling depressed, what must I do, what must I do? And they start to project all their problems and how that impacts us as individuals. Yep. So we spoke about frapping, fixing, rescuing, advising, and projecting, and how difficult it's not to do that because there's often a benefit. So I spoke about, for me, the white knight syndrome, going in fucking as a rescue mission and all this sort of stuff. Then we've moved down more into kind of dual diagnosis recovery. And Charlie got an understanding of how, well, 2 things. One of his, is this right, me talking about this, Charlie? Yeah. His brother who's going through crack and chaotic addiction, yeah, and then how dangerous alcohol withdrawal is. And Alia spoke about a client that's it's on methadone scripts and topping up with with nitrazine drugs in it and the danger of that. And then Alia started to speak about her own lived experience around mental health, being a qualified nurse, working in mental health, and then having her own challenges. And she's just been talking about having a phantom pregnancy and how that's kind of played out, and trying to work out what's, in hindsight, how the system could have served her better. So father was made the primary carer, and the care for the carer advice was just go with it. So Alia going out there with this mental condition, posting on Instagram and all this sort of stuff, and then what's the right word? Getting better, Alia? Coming to realization. Yeah. And now it's like, oh fuck. I went through all that stuff, the embarrassment, the shame, the whatever, and we're just trying to work out what could have been better. And a lot of this advice that comes from years of experience doesn't necessarily work in today's world of social media, constant connectivity, things like that. Programs have need to adjust to the type of environments that we live in now, as opposed to what worked in terms of good practice in the past. Is that a fair enough summary, Charlie and Alia?
Yeah,
fantastic.
you've done really well there, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So that's where we are, Lisa. And we are small and intimate today. For mine, Charlie, and Alia's sake, can we take a quick 5-minute break?
Yeah, of course, no worries. Yeah.
Coffee.
Thank you.
And then I'll just have a quick wee and then I'll come back.
Yes.
Okay. So let's start in 5 minutes. All right.
Okay.
And are you okay with this being recorded?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Okay. Are you, Lisa?
I'm all good, thank you.
Good. We got paid. Thank you so much.
Nothing to do with me.
See you in a couple of weeks, won't I?
You will indeed, but you can't wait.
I can't wait. I really can't wait. I'm very excited about it.
Oh, don't get too excited.
Why not?
It's not that great down here.
You'll have to send me the venue details, yes?
Yep, no worries.
Okay. Right. I don't know why it says preparing live stream now. I thought we were streaming already.
It says you're now streaming, yeah.
So it just goes to a private YouTube channel at Recovery Connections, which we're collecting for research purposes. There we go. Lisa. What's that? Oh, fantastic.
A service for you.
Yes. Okay. Is Alia back?
I was talking then, it wouldn't unmute. Talking to myself, yeah, I'm here.
All right.
I forgot to mention, I don't know if I mentioned it, David. So I've got my discharge meeting today at 4:00 at Parkside. So am I able to leave about 1:45?
No problem. No
Thank
problem.
you. Thank you.
No problem. Would you like to build the container?
Yeah, was that checking in?
Yeah.
I'm checking in. I feel really very proud of myself actually, how I can share my story now and not feel like sad or anything. I feel like I'm very brave about the situation, and I know I have like a knowledge around like my own care, and I know that my story does give other people like hope and things like that. And I've came such a long way. So yeah, I'm very positive and proud and just grateful. I'm so grateful for life and to be clean and sober and have such a good support network around me and things like that. So that's me checking in. Lisa, would you like to check in?
Yeah. Don't really know what to say to that. It was a pretty blinding check-in you did there. Not much to report here, really. I've been having a bit of a I don't know. I've been just trying to take things a bit easier. So check-in wise, I'm fine. I'm just sort of yeah, not. I think where I'm trying to take things easy, I've not got 20 million things in my head today, so hoping I'll be able to concentrate better. But I'm okay. I feel all right. I'm just, plodding along. I suppose we should throw this to Charlie.
But
Well done.
I am checking and intrigued and awe-inspired by what I've just heard the last hour, and I'm a bit kind of like my mouth's so like, oh, I'm still trying to like take that information in. But I've been through the last few years some stuff I'd not even heard of, even came into my vicinity ever. So I'm just intrigued, if I'm honest with you.
Oh, thank you.
Charlie, tag me.
Oh yes, and I'm going to throw it to David.
Thank you, Charlie. Right. So I check in. Yeah, my mood is elevated, because yeah, I've had a very stimulating day working with various Leros. So that feels great. I started off this morning with a gambling Lero up north. Yep. And then I went to Dublin and then South Africa, and now you guys. Yeah, so I feel like I'm really living a life of meaning and purpose. Yeah. And yet on Monday, I was struggling with my own mental health, kind of depression, kind of like, fuck, what's it all about? What's the point? Fuck, I'm sure I'm going to die soon. I don't care. And whenever I get like that, I often feel kind of guilty or ashamed that I'm thinking that because I should know better. So I just want to bust that. I just want to put that in the container. And yeah, and just to kind of yeah, as I left the room now to go and have a wee, I just thought, fuck, I love people. Really just love. Yeah, I love my job or my career or whatever it is that I'm doing here.
How did you manage to pull yourself around that then, David? Like you thought of obviously being depressed and things like that. How have you helped yourself? I'm just intrigued.
Yeah.
Good question.
Yeah, it's a great question. So it's something I've learned to live with. Yeah. And I've learned to talk about it. What I hate is when I tell people that care for me about it, they start to fucking freak out and then want to, what must we do? Or you've got so much to live for, or don't. That just fucking winds me up. That is not helpful at all.
Oh, I've had that discussion loads. Yeah.
So yeah, but I do know it passes. Yeah. And but when I'm in the depths of it, it's a fucking I do not like it.
No.
And yeah, so actually talking about it in like environments like this is very helpful.
That's good.
Yeah. And I've often questioned, as a leader in an organization, where you're meant to, where I'm kind of taught to be the authentic self, to bring the authenticity to, yeah, when I have shared my bouts of kind of depression and suicidal ideation and all that sort of stuff, there's still a big voice in my head that goes, "Oh, you shouldn't be doing that, David. Oh, that's inappropriate. Don't do that."
Yeah.
And yeah. But I guess that's what makes lived experience so different,
I think it does. I can resonate with a lot with what you've said, actually, because there's part of you that thinks, oh, I shouldn't be sharing that because I'm supposed to be leading this kind of thing. But I also think it makes it more authentic, probably, for others, because there sometimes there is that, that, I don't know, not forgetting that you're cool, you're also, we've lived the experience and stuff like that. But sometimes there is that, maybe, that, and I think it's probably helpful in a way, isn't it, for others to see that you're not exempt from it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think also what it does is it models in a way of how to deal with it.
I really struggle with it, to be honest, because I very much have bouts like that. I have, periods where my mental health is really, really rubbish and I don't want to be around anyone. And it's really difficult to try and manage that when you're supposed to be leading an organization. And, you actually, the best thing for you is to step back for a little bit. But likewise, you've got XYZ meetings and all this kind of stuff that you don't want to let people down. So then you feel guilty, and then that feeds into the everything's shit kind of thing. And it doesn't help, does it?
The guilt and shame of it all. So what of the four feelings, yeah, when you do go through bouts of depression, what is it for you? So the four feelings are anger, sadness, fear, and joy.
Anger, what? Go on, say again.
Anger, sadness, fear, and joy.
I think most of the time I end up anger.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's
anger and frustration.
Anger. It's
Yeah.
anger that's pushed down. So it's like keeping quiet or not expressing the anger.
Yeah.
And yeah. Okay. Me too.
And struggling to express it in a productive way rather than a negative way.
Yeah. Right. So internalized anger leads to depression.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Me too.
Mine is fear, absolute fear.
Is it?
I didn't know I was so scared. I didn't know because of my persona that I'd put on since I was a boy. I'd always tried to be this macho lad. I'd always tried to project this alpha, this male, this Glaswegian, this, like this. I'd fight anybody, I'll drink people under the table, that machoism thing. And the more sober that I've become, the more that I went through the 12 steps of Alcoholics Anonymous, the more that I realised that it was all a facade. For years I built these just layers and layers and layers and layers and layers of projecting myself, and I wanted everyone to know that I was this person, I was constantly projecting myself. And then I got to step 4 and step 5 and the 12 steps, and like my head just fell off. And when I finally and utterly got honest, and the step 5, when I had to like speak this to another human being, it took me months to get over. It took me months to like open myself up and like ultimately give another human being who I trusted complicitly, who was my sponsor, and show someone for the first time absolute trepidation and fear that I had inside, which I didn't know that I had. And as I spoke about mine earlier, loads of my problems in my whole life has been communication, because I've had a stammer my whole life. I've had this stutter my whole life that's impeded me. So the vast majority of stuff that I've ever wanted to say in my life, I've not really been able to say, because if there's a word that doesn't come out, I will go round the trees to get my word out. So, and then if I get stuck out there and I can't find a word, I'll start to stutter, and the fear builds up inside my stomach, and that fear is horrendous. But it's an instantaneous fear that I know that's going to come. So I will try and go around that fear. But in step 4 and step 5, I've had to face those fears. And what's actually happened, is like, I thought alcohol was my friend and drugs were. The more that I was drinking, the more I found my voice. I could be in a level playing field with everyone else, and then I could sniff cocaine, and I could even be in a higher field. But what I didn't know, the more soberer that I got and the more freedom that I got from substances, the more that I actually found my voice, the more that I could speak, the more that I was able to walk through the fear. Because today I've been taught that that the opposite of fear is faith. So I try and walk through that fear as much as I possibly can. But even in the rooms of Alcoholics Anonymous, I will sit there with this feeling of absolute anxiety and dread in my stomach, because I know that I'm going to like. There's something inside me, like I can sit in a meeting and I'll go, and my stomach knows I'm not going to talk. And then there's other times I can sit in a meeting and my stomach knows I'm going to talk before I know I'm going to talk. And I'll sit there and this anxiety, and it's like, it's horrible, because I know I'm going to talk, but I have to put myself through it. And because I've been walking through that fear, it's massively helped my speech. It's massively helped me come out of myself. But yeah, my whole life has been fear driven, which I didn't know. And I laugh because I laugh because of anxiety at the end of everything.
You know, that's really funny what you say there, because I really resonated a lot, because it's something that I've become really aware of. So you're masking like your true self to kind of fit in or do what you think society wants you to. Do you know what I mean? To fit in with the norm, whatever the hell that is. And then for me personally, I'm like, I'm not going to fit in. I am what I am. Why should I put a mask on it? But you still, naturally, sometimes you will have to put a mask on things. But other than that, I think it's really hard to be your authentic self in a society that has like certain, I don't know what the word I'm looking for, but I think you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Standards. I don't know if standards is the word, but they have certain, expectations in society of how people should be. And if you don't meet those, it's like you sort of have to try and fit in those boxes, rather than be your authentic self. So you end up a lot of the time masking your true self, which is exhausting.
Yeah. I've found that my life I've been exhausted. I've been exhausted because I feel as if I've been constantly running my whole life. and then I'm starting to find myself now, whatever that I'm finding myself is, and the person I'm finding now is I quite enjoy being this person. Actually, I quite, you know, if I ever sat still for a couple of minutes, I was bored. I'm bored. I need to go and buy new clothes. I need to do this. I was always bored, or I had to do the next thing. And the more like sober I've become, the more I appreciate the stillness. I appreciate my the places around me. I appreciate meditation. I love meditation because I found that like alternative holistic therapies and like meditation, my walking and talking, and all these things take me out of myself. And so I've just found this other way of living and learning, which is just it's just been mind boggling that I never even knew any of this life existed. And that's it's just a beautiful life that I live.
So Charlie, how do we do as a container here with your fear? How's your stomach feel in this place?
My stomach is okay, but you'll probably notice here there's words I can't get out. So what I'll do is it seems to me like I'm waiting for ages, man, for a word to come up. And I'll know if that word will come up or not come up. So I get pangs of like instant anxiety, even if I know I'm in a safe place. What I know today is that all this belongs to me. Everything belongs to me. So I know this. So I've took on board that I will have these pangs of like instantaneous anxiety, and that's just something that I live with. But I feel safe in this group. I feel as if since day one, actually, I've been able to express myself and talk openly, which is a breath of fresh air. Also, a breath of fresh air.
And how did we create that space?
Created the space as in coming back. We created the space by checking in, didn't we? And then building the container. Is that what we're looking for?
I'm always blown away by the courage that the human spirit comes to in this place. I mean, so when I say how did we create it, I'm really curious of like how the fuck this manifests, that we can have such courageous, vulnerable, intimate, safe conversations.
I suppose it's a bit like anything goes kind of thing, doesn't it? We're all sharing our experiences, and in a way there's no, so obviously Charlie does talk quite a lot about the fellowship, but so I've done quite a bit of fellowship, but actually I still feel there's certain constraints within the fellowship that you can't talk about. So for me, like if I go to like the AA is like the biggest stickler for alcohol, don't talk about nothing else and things like that. And to me, you shouldn't be restricted in those kind of environments. It's quite difficult to share sometimes because I know everything has rules and stuff, but in here I feel like, and maybe there's a mutual respect. We're all like trying to do the same thing. So we've all got knowledge of, this, that, and the other. We're all working towards the recovery coaching part. So we've all got that common aim. And I know in fellowship, you've always got that people are trying in recovery, but everyone's at different stages. And this is the same, but this is probably more, I don't know, I feel freer to talk in here without judgment or anything like that. Because I think, we're peers and we're all trying to achieve the same thing. And I don't feel inhibited at all.
I completely agree.
So I'm going to say for normal people, just because I don't know how to
Normies, I say that.
to use another word, but lots of people that come from, normal life, and they come into a lived experienced organization where people are actually fucking talking and being authentic and being as congruent as possible, so kind of matching their insides with what they're talking about. It can be quite a freak out for people that aren't used to marrying the emotions with the task. Yeah. So for example, the one organization I was with this morning, their father died a few weeks ago. Yeah? And she put this post on LinkedIn saying that she used to work in an organization that was like a call center organization. And if something like this had happened, the organization would have been very cold around it and wouldn't, would have been more interested in, well, fuck, when you're going to get back to work and you've got 2 weeks, whatever it is. But the organization she's in now, the team is able to hold and nurture the human within the role within the organization, which I think makes a much healthier organization.
Yeah, I agree.
Alia, do you want to chip something in?
Hi, yeah, sorry, for the past 5 minutes I was on a call, so a community member has gone to the office and has asked for me, so I was talking to a colleague, trying to book in a doctor's appointment. But what was the last bit we were talking about? It was just about well relating, lived in the same experience, basically feeling comfortable, was it? You were talking about.
So Charlie was talking about his stuff and anxiety that goes with it. And I was curious about how this container is in supporting him with his anxiety so he can find his voice, for want of a better word. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think by exploring that, we can learn how to be a more supportive container for people that we interact with. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I think definitely with every one of us, everybody has a story to tell. We all come from different backgrounds, have different experiences and preferences and things like that. And it's nice to be able to come in here and share our stories and our fears and things, because you're able to understand that not everybody is the same. People learn in different ways. People have different like needs, disabilities, wants. Everybody's equally different. And it's nice to be able to come together and connect.
Anya, can I ask you another personal question?
Yeah, of course you can.
And again, it's my agenda. But how's the racial tension up in Middlesbrough, in your neck of the woods?
Do you know, it's funny because it's all right. Nothing, no other crimes or anything have happened, or there's been no more riots or anything like that. But like you walk down the street, and not, and I don't even know how to say this without myself sounding racist, but white men tend to put their heads down. Funny enough, like I don't know how else to say it. They're like,
I love you. I love you. Thank
I don't
you.
even mean that in a bad way, but yeah,
No,
yeah,
bust it, say it. Great. White
yeah.
men put their heads down. Okay.
Why is that then?
Yeah.
So-
What do you think? What do you think that's about?
So, do you not know about all the riots and stuff that was going on in Middlesbrough, Charlie?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
so
do.
basically what's happened is, to my knowledge, this is just what I've been told, because
Yeah.
like I say, I don't have social media and things like that. But basically a lot of the Muslim community all stood together like outside mosques and things like that. And it's not good. I'm not like proud to say it, but they like attacked a lot of white racist people, and they did. So now the sort of there's no more aggravation at the minute. They thought I don't know, the two different communities, so the white people and the black people thought there's going to be like a big war, whatever, due to race. But it's all been shut down because there was a larger Muslim community, shall I say? So I don't know. I don't know how really to put it.
Thanks, Aya.
So you put it out there as clumsy as you can.
Yeah,
That's
I hate even saying black, white.
I know it fucking triggers my wife.
It does me.
Stuff, and it's like, oh fuck, I can't mention this. But the only way to get is to fucking talk about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was feeling a bit cautious. Like, fuck, do I talk about your brownness in the room to find out like, how the tension is? So yeah. Yeah. And how's it in Hartlepool, Charlie?
Hartlepool, it seems so dispersed. Actually, it seemed quite quiet. I don't really ever notice any racial tension anyway. You know, it's never really, it never really comes into my head or whatever. If I see someone who's not the same color as me, I don't. It doesn't resonate. It's just like, hi, mate, how you doing? Hi, Hen, how are you? Are you all right? So I don't. But I was in the middle of it that night, and it kicked off because I was driving through it and I got stuck in traffic and I didn't even know what they were all doing. I was that blasé to it all. I was like, what the fuck are they doing here? I'm trying to get to Stockton, you know, and there was all these guys with like flags and stuff, and I was like, oh God, what's going on here? And I was that blasé, man, for a couple of days, and I was like, oh, this is what they're talking about. But I have noticed that the local mosque, the Salam Centre, has got someone outside that's standing there when they're praying. So I respect that. But I don't feel personally any tension that's in the air. I think it's been handled quite strictly and dealt with. So, but again, I can only say from where I am. I'm actually over in Crimson Dean. I actually live in a holiday park, so I'm quite, I just live on the beach and yeah.
We were at training, weren't we, David? And we had all the shops and everything got shut in the building.
Oh, really?
Yeah, me and David were on training. We had to leave and everything. It was bad.
Yeah, no, the tension starts to rise. And you can kind of feel it in the air, you know. It's it can be quite unsettling, and the only way to defuse it is to fucking bust it, to talk about it, but you got to do it in a way that's respectful.
Yeah.
Were you going to say something earlier? No.
Yeah, sorry, my little sister's coming from school, so I was just telling them on a call to be quiet. To be quiet. I'm in the bedroom, but she's dead loud. All right, yeah. Okay, baby. The door's shut as well, believe it or not.
Okay. So Alia, you check out whenever you want to. Yeah. And I know you're pushed for time.
Yeah. I just want to say I'm leaving feeling very grateful and positive, and I'm glad I can share my story with everybody and feel comfortable. Like I'm not going to leave and think, oh shit, I shouldn't have said this, or they're going to judge me or anything like that. So thank you for letting me speak about it and hearing my side of the story. I really appreciate it. And Charlie, it's nice to listen to you when you were saying about your fears around your stuttering and things like that, because I would have never noticed it until you said it. And honestly, I would never have noticed it. So it's
thanks, Aya.
I hope like you feel less at ease and stuff around it. And Lisa, nice to see you. I hope
You
you get
too.
sorted over the weekend and things like that. I hope you have a great time wherever you're going.
Thank you.
David, I really hope that when you feel down and things like that, just like you said yourself, there's always better days, isn't there? There's always a light at the end of the tunnel. So don't sit and dwell. You'll be fine. You'll get there. Thank you all so much. And I shall see you
Thanks,
next
Aya.
week.
Thanks very much,
Later.
Mother.
Bye.
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 I love. I love.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
What's wow, Charlie?
I just found her wow. I just found her wow. Just the story that she told. I was kind of sitting there going, just stuff I'd never heard of. For someone so young to have that much on their shoulders and then to be going through it at such early sobriety, then to tell the story, I was just sitting there like, it's like wow.
The human spirit is something, huh? Lisa, is that a semicolon you've got tattooed on your arm?
Yes, it is.
Okay. You want to tell us about it?
You can Google it, guys. You can do this after. It's called the Semicolon Project.
Oh,
There you go. You'll learn a little bit. You are expecting me to tell you, aren't you?
No. I know about it. I know about it.
Oh, you do? Okay, cool.
Yeah. And the reason I mentioned it is because if you're going to get something tattooed on your body, you're obviously going to have some strong connection to it.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Okay. We'll leave Charlie to work it out as well.
yeah.
There's even more stuff we can go. All right.
Just Google the Semicolon Project when you get
I will.
off.
I'm going to. As soon as I get off.
Yeah. So, Charlie, I wanted to ask you around what the fear that you get. Yep. What's it saying might happen? Because the thing with fear is it allows you to see into the future, gives you the gift of intuition. Now, the thing with anger, Lisa, is that's about boundaries in the present. Yeah. And if your struggle is to express anger and you're keeping quiet in the present and suppressing it,
Yeah.
that's about finding your voice. Yeah. So Charlie, I'm curious around your anxiety. What might happen?
Well, first of all, what might happen is I won't get the word out, and that happens quite a lot. And then people will see I've got.
What would happen if you can't get the word out? What might happen?
Happen to me or what I'm projecting?
Yeah, what might happen to you?
Nothing's going to happen to me at all, apart from I'm going to stutter for longer. And my fear is that I'm projecting that people will see that I stutter. Even when I tell people, the fear is when people will see it. So
what will happen
years,
if that happens?
nothing will happen. Absolutely nothing will happen. I'll still be safe. I'll still be me. And I think because I've had these voices in my head talking to me, I've lived in my head my whole life. And when I do stutter, I will go away going, I'm not good enough. You shouldn't have done that. You shouldn't have said that word. You should have avoided that one word. You should have did something else. And then I'll beat myself up and I'll beat myself up.
Okay. So there's an internal violence that happens to you.
Yeah.
So
and I'll avoid that. So I'll avoid that by if I'm going to say a word, like I was going to say a word earlier and I couldn't get it out, I won't leave myself hanging there. I'll go round the word because I know if I go round the word, I won't beat myself up. But if I leave myself out there, a boat without a paddle, and I go into that just terrifies me. And then I'll have this internal dialogue all day, and it'll just eat away at me.
Oh, mate, that sounds so. That really triggers the compassion in me.
Mm,
It's like, fuck, you're so like the enemy is living inside you.
mm,
It's
yeah,
not. It's not like an external enemy. It's not like
no,
something in the past, fucking when you struggled to get your words out, came and fucked you up. You know, you struggled to get the words out, and you've fucked yourself up.
yeah, yeah. So it's that, but I've had this since I was. What I do now is I speak where previous I would never have spoke. I'd never ever have spoke. I would never have spoken like this. So I would just have avoided conversation, or I'd go in and out as quickly as I can. Yes, no, maybe. I would answer that sort of stuff. So it's only been like the last. So I've been sober now nearly 2 years. It's maybe like the last 9, 10 months that I've been able to vocalize and speak about this now. Because I would never have conversed about this ever, because it was too difficult. I mean, it took me till I was about the late 20s to pick up the phone, because I could not, because if I show you this, if I show you what this is, and you see this, then I'll just go into this like internal fight the whole day, and I'll just be exhausted by the end of the day, because I've showed you when I could have just went round it. So I'll just beat myself up. What I have done is I've learned myself to go around the word, not to go through the word. But what I want to do with my why I'm speaking about this is because um I don't want the stutter to be me. So I want to, if the word is there and it's there, if it takes me, if it takes me 5 seconds to get the word, it takes 5 seconds. And if people say to see it, uh, but I don't have the courage for that yet. I'm getting the courage to get there. But where I'm now is massively compared to where I was my last year or my whole other life. And it's been fantastic. This speaking about it has been and I've actually got this from the recovery coaching, the 3-day recovery coaching. When you first walked in, uh, David, and you explained that you were feeling anxiety and you were feeling this, and I was like, ah. I was like, he's teaching this and he's telling us how he's feeling, where I thought that wasn't allowed. And so these containers have gave me that ability to now express how I'm feeling. Because I wouldn't even do this in an AA meeting. I would not even do this in an AA meeting, because I what Lisa was saying, I completely agreed. There's so much stipulations and boundaries in that, and that's why I'm learning about this on the recovery side of stuff. What all you are, because I'm intrigued by all this as well. A is going to be my recovery, but there's like a whole other world of recovery there that I know nothing of, that I just want to learn and soak in, and it's given me the confidence to speak.
So inspiring listening to you. Fuck. So Lisa,
Yes.
how do you feel about the emotion anger?
Drives me spare.
What does that say more?
Well, I think it is difficult for me to, as I say, I struggle to channel it, and that's probably when I'm at my most, with the addiction stuff, all of that. It's like I don't know how to deal with it.
So how do you judge the emotion anger?
How do I judge? Generally, it's a feeling I get, like inside. I'm like wound up, or can feel the tension. Got a short fuse, and that kind of stuff. I just feel like, I don't know, irritable. Maybe you can just. I just sort of feel it.
So for me, I would feel ashamed about feeling anger, because I saw my father express anger in a violent way.
Mm-hmm.
So then I would feel that anger is a bad emotion and that I mustn't express it. I must like turn the other cheek and do all this sort of stuff. So I would feel shame about the emotion anger. So I'm not going to show it because I'd feel embarrassed and ashamed about it. I'd rather swallow it.
Yeah.
And then I'd go on a bender and it all come out all fucking sideways.
Yeah.
And then I'd
Exactly.
wake up in the morning and say, oh, fuck, I'm sorry. It wasn't me. It was
Yeah.
the drugs. But actually, it was me. It was
Yeah.
just the fucking drugs gave me the permission to express it.
Hmm.
So one of my hardest challenges is expressing anger in a clear, healthy way.
Yeah. Well, that's 100% mine. And I think I know it, whereas maybe I haven't previously. And, you know, it's just learning to manage it in a positive way.
Okay. So anger, I mean, the thing with anger is it's about boundaries. Yeah. When you behave like this, that's not acceptable, And talking about racism, for example, yeah, I have a lot of white guilt because of the racism in South Africa and white privilege and all that sort of stuff. And then when people of color piss me off in the workplace, I go, oh shit, no, can't say that because I'm gonna. And then that creates dysfunction in the organization because
Yeah.
I've got different rules for different people based on like, oh, shame, which is bullshit. You
Yeah.
know,
But I do think sometimes you have to, like we said earlier, there isn't a one size fits all either. And I think that's where it's a case of, okay, you're struggling with anger. It doesn't mean like there's a blueprint for anger management as such. Like for me and you, it could be totally different the way we manage it. And I think that's where I've recognized a lot recently around how people try and fit everybody into the boxes, but it doesn't suit people. And I think a lot of my anger and frustration is coming a lot from that. Trying to be, you know, sort of navigated in a way or whatever, which doesn't necessarily meet my needs. And I think in a way I am, through certain therapy and stuff like that, I think I'm understanding my needs more. But I think I have frustration around the fact that everybody seems to, like society as a whole, caters for the majority. And a lot of the time it's a bit of a, what's the word? A tick box exercise to say, well, you know, we can make adjustments and all this.
So the hypocrisy of it all.
Yeah. And I'm not very good at keeping quiet about it. And then I get more frustrated. Then I think, oh, what's the point? I feel like I'm ending up in conflict all the time. But then it's like, well, say your piece, because actually that's your feelings and it's valid. It's your valid point as long as you do it in a positive way. But likewise, it doesn't always leave me feeling like I've done the right thing.
So how does it leave you feeling?
Well, sometimes it just makes me it makes me more angry.
Okay.
Because I feel like I've, you know, it's been hard for me to express it. And then when I've expressed it and then it's not really managed in the right way, yeah, hacks me off even more probably.
So when you say not managed, how about when it's not received in the right way?
Yeah, but I also know like it's a bigger picture of cultures and things like that and society and all of those kind of things that feed into it, but it's still incredibly frustrating.
Could you give me an example?
I have an example at work where a bit of an HR thing that is going on between me and them, and me pointing out to them that a policy is a policy, but it doesn't necessarily treat people as individuals and recognize people as individuals. So if you're looking at year equality and stuff like that, one policy does not fit all. You need to make allowances of the same policy maybe and do things in different ways. That doesn't mean people are getting preferential treatment or anything like that. But it's really hard for people to understand that.
I couldn't agree with you more. I just, I'm trying to do some work with the social workers in the army in South Africa.
Mm-hmm.
They are so fucking concrete in their fucking thinking that when I talk this stuff, it doesn't even land. It just goes so fucking over. Like they just don't like, and their thinking around helping people with substance use disorder or mental health or something is to fucking beat them with a stick. Don't do it.
And I think it's frustrating because I think there's only so much you can do sometimes. If, you know, like, you can get your point across and maybe it's good that you've got it out, but at the same time, it doesn't really give you the peace that you're hoping it's going to give you with managing the anger side of it, if you know what I mean. Makes it worse generally.
I was getting so frustrated with an organization yesterday, which is it's an organization. It's basically kind of a step down type facility, daycare for people that are coming out of NHS based mental health treatment. And there's obviously pressure for them to come up with a lived experienced organization, and all the management from this kind of NHS type environment was saying, okay, here's a questionnaire, we've got to ask you the right questions so you can set up a lived experience organization. And you had all the people with lived experience kind of outside, and then the management people inside that were talking about this questionnaire and what wording and what should we do. And then I went up to them and I said, who's doing all the work here? You know, because they were doing all the work around kind of getting, and the people that are meant to be setting up the lived experience were sitting around smoking and laughing and yeah. Oh, and then it's so hard for me to bite my lips.
I think that's it as well, isn't it? It's like, you know, sort of said earlier about the masking part where you maybe put on a bit of a mask to fit in, but actually it's around, I don't know, it's like you have to pick and choose when to say things and when's it appropriate still, and actually they're not going to want to hear this, but actually just because they don't want to hear it, shouldn't they hear it? You know, it is, I suppose it's a lot of experimenting with certain things, isn't it? And just finding your way with a lot of stuff. And just, yeah, I don't know.
One of my pet hates is people say, yeah, we want to hear what you want to say. And then I say what I want to say, and then they don't like what I said.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly it, isn't it?
That's that really does get me.
Yeah.
Political intelligence, saying the right thing at the right time to the right audience while staying true to myself and my values is one of my biggest challenges. All right, you two, let's start the checkout. Yeah, Charlie, what have you learned today? What's your takeaway before we check out?
My takeaway today is that the container is a great space to be your authentic self, and if the container's right, which it has been, people can speak and express and talk about whatever they want to talk about in a safe environment, according called The Container, which I absolutely love.
Fantastic. Thank you. Lisa?
Yeah, I think there is a lot around that, isn't there, around us. I suppose how it makes us feel when we're just trying to fit in. So like from Charlie's aspect and, myself, it gives me anger and frustration. And obviously Charlie it was a fear, wasn't it, Charlie, from, certain things. And actually also is that just, those are feelings that we're getting because of pressures we're putting on ourselves, maybe, rather than what others put on us. So that's the thing too. It's around like the perception we have of ourselves or how we should be too, and that rarely meets with others' perceptions of us, and that kind of thing.
Cool. So I've learned to trust the container. I always had anxiety around it. It's like, fucking hell, do I really know what I'm talking about? When are they going to kick the door in and say, David, what the fuck are you doing? You're not allowed to do this. I have a lot of that still. Yeah, but I've really appreciated today, and I like the smallness of the container this afternoon. That felt particularly nice. The other side of it is the anxiety of like, oh fuck, where is everyone? Have I chased them all away? So it's like I can't win in my head. I can't win. Yeah. So I check out with a lot of joy. I'm going to go down to Liverpool Street and jump on the train and go and visit my mum. So I'll be
Nice.
down at the seaside for the weekend. So I check out with joy, and I look forward to seeing you all next week. I tag Lisa.
I am having dinner with some friends this evening, so that'll be quite nice. I won't be here next week, but yeah, so there you go. I'm telling you now, please don't have anxiety about that when I don't appear. But yeah, thank you for the session. It's good. I think I prefer smaller. I think it's easier, like especially where I only join at 3, to sort of catch up on what's gone on. Otherwise, I feel a bit more like included in it today, whereas I feel a little bit of an outsider, I think, when I come in. And it's not your fault or anything like that, but it's hard sometimes to pick up where the conversation's been and stuff like that. So yeah, it's been for me, I think it's helpful having a smaller little container rather than a big bad one, big bad massive one. Who shall I refer to now?
Good choice, Lisa.
Oh, Charlie.
Thanks, Lisa. You threw me again, didn't you? I am checking out Inspired, and I'm checking out Really Happy, and I'm always happy. I'm always happy when I leave this on a Thursday afternoon. I am going for a Turkish meal, and then I've got guitar lessons. My second guitar lesson tonight, so I'm really looking forward to that. I'm going to play the guitar by the time I'm 50. That's my goal. So I've got a year and a half.
Good for you. Good for you. All right, everyone. See you later.
Thank you, guys.
Take care. Bye, guys. Have a lovely day. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.